Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Gamestah TV. And a fine morning it is for a grand final. This is the VEC Online League of Legends Tournament Grand Final, Best of 5, brought to you by Gamestah. My name is HKAYCEE, and I'm joined in the studio by none other than Poon. Good evening. Good day, Poon.
Yeah, good morning, Crisis. And yeah, as you mentioned before, beautiful morning, and what better morning to have a grand final, best of 5 between two teams that we've seen quite a bit actually throughout Wellington. HKC, formerly known as VLK, starting in the WSL, humble beginnings, and translated to, playing in a tournament like such as this, and FLACCID, another team that's also been around Wellington for quite a bit. So two big behemoths in terms of teams facing up against each other once again. It's a replay of the Armageddon finals, and I'm very excited.
So, yeah, pretty much a rematch of the Armageddon finals. Two giants of the Wellington League of Legends scene. Fantastic to have them here on Gamestah TV once again. So, it is going to be HKC versus Team FLACCID. And HKC have elected to start off on blue side first. So, I'll just run through the teams very, very quickly as we go through picks and bans. Saicha, Dream, Jonty Wanty, Spectre and Sykes representing HKC. And on Team FLACCID, on the red side for the first game, Limes, Opal, Pro E. I'm going to just call him Opal, right?
I think he's gone by Pro E in past, so we might as well stay true to that.
And then Lazarus and then Pro Double E.
Oh yeah, we'll call him...
we're going to have to call him Opal. We're going to have to call him Opal.
Yeah, we're going to call him Opal, because I think his old name was... Pabu, but now he's going by Opal, so...
Alright, so
yep.
It's Opal, Lazarus, Pro Double E, and Valen bringing up the remainder of their team. So, very quick bans that have gone through. Poon, Thresh, Fiora, and Soraka banned by HKC.
Yeah, and as I was mentioning before, both teams very comfortable with each other, versing quite, time and time again, and most of these bans would have to be target bans because both teams know each other like the back of their hands, and Thresh, one of the champions that Valen is extremely comfortable on, also on the likes of something like Nautilus, and obviously going to be banned away. HKC not going to want to verse that. Fiora, we've seen a lot of play in that, especially in Korea and both China, pulling that champion out since her Juggernaut rework, just crazy strength on that. And Soraka not wanting to heal up that front line, which is extremely strong, especially if you have the likes of Shen, which they did the first pick.
Alright, and for Team FLACCID, they're banning out Braum, Gangplank and Gnar. And Gangplank really another one of those rework champions that has rushed to the front of pick priorities. Yeah,
definitely. A lot of champions being reworked to be a lot stronger since the Juggernaut patch 5.16. They've actually toned back a couple of those champions, Garen and Skarner, but Gangplank gone untouched. And if you've seen Gangplank in recent pro play, a lot of damage coming through from those barrels in combination with that Q. I mean, doing like 1.5k crits from afar is quite quite an OP kit. So yeah, obviously not gonna give that across to. I think we're calling him Saichi, like Tai Chi. I think that's.
Oh, that's right, Saichi.
Yeah, I got told on OUC. Got told off a couple of times, but yeah. Nah, one of those champions that can really turn the tides of a fight with a good timed Mega Nah, and also Braum going to be banned across against Sykes, a very good Braum player, and very high kill pressure lane, especially with that Braum, and very good for protecting the ADC, which is, Spectre on the side, and we've seen him carry a couple of games, so obviously trying to negate some of that carry pressure.
Well, we're into the picks at the moment, and as you pointed out, Limes picking up Shen as his first pick. We don't have a top laner picked just yet for HKC, but let's have a look at what HKC have picked up. Jonty Wanty sitting there on the Tristana, so we're going to have Tristana in the bottom lane supported by Sykes on the Alistar. So he's had his Thresh banned out, but picked up certainly must be a very close second preference on the Alistar.
Yeah, it's very interesting though, because Sykes is on that Alistar, but a lot of the supports on both teams, their champion pools overlap each other. I mean, Thresh, Soraka, and Braum, all champions that both Sykes and Valen can play. So taking the next high priority support that is left up. So first picking away that Alistar, which is very, very good on Valen. So very smart takeaway there. And as we see, obviously locking on Darius, one of the other Juggernaut champions that have been reworked and obviously extremely strong. And Saichi gonna put in some work and obviously practice that champion quite a bit. But one thing I have to hover is that they gave HKC Dream his Nunu, and this guy's crazy. He got to Chinese Challenger playing just Nunu, so very comfortable on that champion and spams him in solo queue a lot in OCE as well.
All right, over on the red team, Team FLACCID, they've got their bottom lane locked in with the Ashe combining with Janna.
Yeah, Ashe Janna. I mean, Ashe, we've seen a lot of play in both Korea and China, as I mentioned before, and one of those champions that are quite low mobility, but kind of make up for that in terms of raw damage coming from the queue. Not as high as something like Tristana, and obviously not as much of a carry, sorry, but does have the utility from the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and also her kit does offer like a perma-slow, so a very strong champion in the right hands, and none other but Pro going to play him, so definitely a strong showing. Probably going to come out of that bot lane. And Janna, one of those champions, very safe to pick up into most lanes, and a lot of disengage for his partner in that lane, Pro.
Yeah, I guess if you're going to have an immobile ADC that won't have a lot of escapes in their kit, what better to have than the disengage queen, Janna. So facing up, you mentioned Dream has the Nunu in the jungle. Facing up against him is going to be Opal, picking up Evelynn. So we're going to expect to see a lot of counter jungling, I guess, you think, from the Evelynn?
Yeah, well, Evelynn quite a strong jungler, but in her early clears.
Jungling.
Yeah, exactly. But Evelynn and Opal is hovering, playing at Evelynn, sorry, not hovering, she has already picked it, but strong jungler, but if Dream can utilize that kit of Nunu and just take away either a camp and 3-buff her, even if she take away the blue, that'd be very, very detrimental to winning this early game and getting vision control, because Nunu extremely strong in both objective focused team comps and also helping your ADC carry, and if you can steal these camps and really punish Opal on this Eve before she gets snowballing and kind of dictate her movements on the map, then it's going to make it extremely easy for the side of HKC to kind of counteract her movements and play safely in these lanes.
Well, we'll have to see whether whether HKC have their pink ward game on point today to defend from that. So we've just got to touch on the mid lane as we've already entered into the 3-minute countdown. So we've revealed the summoner skills. I don't really see a huge amount to note in terms of the summoner skills that have been picked up. Nobody taking a crazy smite or anything. So let's have a look at that mid lane. Jonty Wanty on the Victor, who is absolutely a priority pick these days, going up against the Azir, played by Lazarus.
Yeah, as you mentioned, both priority picks at this point in time, and both champions have actually been toned back in terms of their power. I mean, they both used to be just the #1 pick for either, siege comps or just straight up burst, but they've brought back Victor's early game damage a lot. And they've kind of ramped up his late game damage, so they've brought down his damage quite a bit in the early game and given him something like 20 more AP in the late game. So overall, it's a nerf. But Azir being one of those champions that can bully Victor out, and Jonty forcing to take that cleanse because she's versing an Ashe, means that there's not really much kill pressure without the ignite in the lane. So I do have to say that unless Jonty can work some magic and get a kill on this lane, Lazarus will be the more impactful person in this mid to late game fights. But Pro E is on that Ashe, so he may get bursted very fast if positioned incorrectly.
All right. Well, I have to say, good pickup on the cleanse there in the mid lane. I hadn't noticed that at all. So I have to take it back. Definitely one little alternative there in terms of summoner skills that have been picked up. Quite a curious pickup though. He must be really worried about that Ashe arrow because Victor is usually the champion that you fear because of his CC as opposed to him being afraid of being CC'd.
Yeah, definitely. Like, interesting point you mentioned. Usually Victor is the person that is trying to make those plays, trying to get those kills and try force the aggressive lane. But yeah, obviously the Ashe pickup's enough to kind of make him want to take that cleanse. I mean, yeah, you can cleanse that Agony's Embrace from Evelynn, try cleanse away that slow, but in terms of laning advantage, you can't cleanse anything from Azir, so kind of has a disadvantage in this lane. And it only he's only going to be able to utilize that cleanse in the mid-game to late-game team fights if he gets hit by an Ashe arrow. But as we head into the game, we are going to see, your favorite part of the whole thing, what skin's going to be on display today, and yeah, let's hope they have a lot of skins to show.
All right, so I'm just going to have to just let me know when the game loads in because I have had a minor issue here with in terms of a crash. I'll just get the split cam going,
No
but
worries.
we don't have the skin battle on screen just yet. So just let me know. Well,
Mhm.
why don't you talk through the skin battle?
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to visually paint this for you guys right now. Okay, well, Chi letting us down with no skin on Darius, but we do have the Nunubot skin, an extremely beautiful skin. Creator Victor, Rocky Tristana, Inferno Alistair on the side of HKC. We have Victoria's Jana Valen showing that he was gold in Season 2. Freyord Ash, just the standard the standard Azir skin on Lazarus. Safe Cracker Evelyn, so obviously gonna try crack the base of HKC, if you will, and Warlord Shen up in the top lane, and we just hit into the game, so we've just loaded in now. Have you?
All right, I will. I'll load up in a moment. I've got the split cam full screen at the moment, so
Okay,
people
awesome.
are going to be able to see what's going on just
Okay,
while
no
I
worries.
load in.
Okay, awesome. Okay, we'll just take us. I'll take us off at the start because you're not quite yet. Sorry, but standard starts is probably what we're going to see here. Both teams actually going to opt towards the blue/red side jungle, the top side of the map, and they may go for an early invade because they do have the strong level 1 with Nunu and Alistair here. And both teams are going to see each other. Lazarus might place down a ward, and he does, but they're still going to walk in and try get these lane swap wards out because they do have the stronger 2v2 lane, and if they can try stop them from lane swapping onto them, it'll be an extremely effective and worthwhile play. We see Limes here just trying to scout as much vision as he can, see what they're doing in the jungle, make sure that the red buff is in fact not being taken away, and the ward in that brush will be enough to show that they are in fact leaving the red side jungle. So both teams just going to back to their own, but very strong play there, making sure they don't lane swap against them.
All right, I will be in. In fact, I am in at the moment, and there we go. So we're on the Rift, and I've just noticed that we have a new spectator client.
Yeah, the client is
So
quite beautiful now. It's like
the
a...
overlays.
Alright, yeah.
The overlays are a little bit off, so apologies, ladies and gentlemen, for that minor little error over there. That our overlays are just a little bit. Well, they're going to be like this for the rest of the matches today, I guess, because. Yeah, okay, that's new. Well,
Yeah, it's alright, bro.
well,
It's
we'll
alright.
get stuck in. So, yeah, I think I like it. They're not as ornate as they were before, I guess.
It's actually quite interesting what we're seeing here is that Spectre and his partner Sykes actually wanted this lane swap. Wanted the 2v2 lane, but in doing so, they're kind of late to this lane swap, so Spectre is missing out on XP, and you don't want to give up level 2, and he may be giving up the level 2 advantage here, so it's quite an interesting play to force it as hard as he has forced it. But both junglers just going to double jungle. Sykes going to TB back down to the bot lane and push this wave out, but I think the slight early game lead goes to the side of FLACCID here.
Well, good for them, I guess. So they are at a minor disadvantage in this match because they're starting on red side. So maybe not as much dragon control as before. But what better way of compensating with that than getting a little bit of a lead? And we can see they're already Pro Double E on 11 CS in comparison to Tristana with just the 1 CS.
Yeah, I mean, the level 2 obviously going to be big enough of a deterrent to kind of walk up in that lane, but the CS, discrepancy, should be leveled up quite soon. I mean, the lane's just going to start snowballing into the favor of Tristana, but Saichi can get a gank down by Pro E, and he may die here.
Yeah, well, Limes gets his flash going out, and Opal takes ages to get his final Q. And in fact, I think it might have been the red buff that ticked through. So Lime's doing a great job of baiting and securing a first blood for Opal. Limes will get the assist goal there. So things looking very good at the moment in 2 lanes right now for the boys from Team FLACCID. Guess the one positive that we have for HKC right now is Dream, who is actually starting off with the Dream start. He's got triple buff.
Yeah, Dream, I was going to mention this before, actually going to give John Swanty the first blue of his own side, so going such a big advantage in this lane. Blue not only gives mana, it also gives CDR, and being able to freely spam spells against an Azir can do nothing but good for you. So stealing away Evelyn's blue would have been a very strong play, but Saichi on that Darius should have known that Evelyn would be on the bot side of the map around that point in the game. And yeah, kind of paid with his life, sorry, but slight leads in the side of HKC. I mean, having strong mid lane now and also strong jungle, but First Blood did go over to FLACCID, so we'll see how they can bounce back after that early deficit.
Well, Saichi is back in lane and going in against Limes. Limes now with the level advantage though, so things not looking very good for Saichi, trying to bully things at all at this stage. Won't lose out on too much CS. In fact, he'll get most of this next wave that's coming along and get right back in there in terms of the CS situation.
Yeah, it's really interesting though. Opal hasn't actually bought items yet, and it's actually, we see Dream walking in to try counter jungle, and Opal too low to actually do anything at this point. So very smart play there, trying to shut her down onto that Evelyn. And she has done, actually, Hip-Hop Pulverize actually missing up on the top side, but yeah, as I was mentioning, if Dream can counter jungle, which he has been doing, it's going to be extremely advantageous in holding down this Evelyn, sir.
Wow, look at down at the bottom lane. Saichi pushes Limes out of lane. So as soon as he had level parity, hit his level 5, Limes on level 5 as well, straight away the advantage went back to Darius. Of course, Darius has returned to, well, he was forced back to base, so he was able to pick up a little bit more sustain in terms of the flask. But Limes now, heading on back, has picked up a chain vest and is going to be laughing at any damage that Darius tries to put out to him at this stage.
Yeah, Darius might be rushing for that Phage into Black Cleaver build, which is quite strong in terms of shredding armor, but we look towards the items of Opal. Actually, a little damage.
Oh, we got Sykes going in and getting his combo down onto ProEE, who's got the rocket at the moment, but turns around and faces up against Spectre, who unfortunately for him is now a little bit out of range. They're still going on it. In comes the flash though from Sykes, pushes ProEE into Spectre. There's all of their summoner skills going now. ProEE gets his flash away, gets the kill, and the reply going down. Well, Sykes in fact picks up the reply, so overall there an advantage to Team FLACCID.
Yeah, really unfortunate play there by Spectre. He actually flashed forward and ordered the support opposed to the opposed to Pro-E onto that ADC, and that actually cost him his life because it gave Pro-E the chance to auto attack one more time and kill him actually. So unfortunate there, but as I was going to mention before, we see Opal here optimizing for that, just the early jungle item for the extra gold and the blue smite to kind of, the chilling smite, to kind of get slows across, but then also the mobility boot. So obviously looking towards a very gank heavy jungle time, which is very, very good because you go for a more AP centric build and not be as fast, but obviously going to opt for those mobility boots instead.
ProEE returns to lane and he's got himself a BF sword, so he'll be pleased with that. Has the advantage over Tristana, who has only been able to pick up a pickaxe as a result of that little exchange. That said, he's got his boots, so I guess swings and roundabouts. But in terms of raw damage right now, ProEE has the advantage. Down in the bottom lane, Limes versus Saichi, they have both hit their level 6, and of course both of them have got very effective CC that's going to be able to prevent any sort of TP. So it's going to be interesting to see how these two champions manage their CC capabilities and manage their TPs. In comes Dream to the bottom lane for a gank. Lions is running for his life at the moment. He's going to try and escape, and I don't think that he's going to be able to be stopped there, so he gets himself out of there nice and easy. Just tell me, Poon, wow, that was a long range snowball that eventually landed on him. But can the apprehend from Darius interrupt the Stand United?
Yes, it actually can, but
long range Scud missile from across the map locks up Dream, and he gets taken down, and straight away Limes uses his TP to get in range as well. We got 3 down here at the Dragon, taking out Dream and the Darius. So just an excellent piece of play over there from Team FLACCID, and they're going to pick up this jungle as well. Jonty Wanty looks like he wants to get a steal lane, forced to use his flash to get away though, and in fact he's been CC'd to death just about. He has got so little HP at the moment, and there you go, the soldiers poke him in the ass and take him down. Lazarus picks up the kill there. Jonty Wanty not really sure what he was hoping to get out of a hopelessly outnumbered situation.
Yeah, I mean, Jonty Wanty picked up the kill onto Opal. God, it's going to give me tongue twisted all day, but yeah, he kind of overstayed his welcome there and ended up paying with his life for that, so quite interesting. But yeah, as you're mentioning, Apprehend can in fact stop Limes' teleport and his Stand United, but the thing is that he used it a bit early and Limes was a bit patient, and once the Apprehend was used, he knew that there was no interrupt to stop him from getting away, so very strong play there, knowing his kit well, and yeah, just strong play across the map from FLACCID, really turning it on this early game.
Well, 10 minutes has just ticked over. It's 5-2 in terms of kills in favor of Team FLACCID. They have one dragon, so a little bit of a damage advantage. Just 1,000 gold in the lead, but you kind of feel as though they're doing what they need to set up a good mid-game. That said, Spectre's just about to kill the first turret of the match.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of back and forth here, but majority of this early game has gone across to the side of FLACCID. As we see, Opal walk towards the bot side, and even though he's going to get spot by a pink ward, he still may get the gank through here. No Limes and Opal too low to be able to do anything, but Jonty Wanty in this lane, he doesn't even have the advantage. I mean, the early blue, I thought it would be enough to actually get him the slight advantage or even kill him. They actually probably maybe out of position here.
Yeah, and he's now given up a death, and that's fed a kill and 300 gold to Lazarus. So Lazarus doing very, very well. Oh, we've got an engage in the top lane. We've got Ash getting taken down. HKAYCEE Dream using his Snowstorm just to slow down Balin. They go in for the dive underneath the turret and pick up yet another kill. So, well, in fact, that's kind of bringing them back into the game. Look at that gold lead. It is now swung in favor, a tiny little bit of favor, but a favor nevertheless for HKAYCEE. So the mid-game, very, very suddenly has become an even Stevens situation. Poon?
Yeah, I was about to mention that, like, that was a bit ambitious almost, maybe a bit silly by the side of FLACCID to be so overextended. I mean, their turret was gone, so very easy to dive Ash, especially on Alistar with that unbreakable will. And mid lane, slightly in the favor of Lazarus on the Azir, and we are going to see the Azir go for the first item, Nash's Tooth, into probably Rylai's Crystal Scepter, which is quite, it's not low in damage, but it isn't as high as we're used to seeing, but a lot of utility coming across, a lot of slows, and that's almost, you know, the team comp of FLACCID. They have the slows on Ash, they have the slows on Lazarus, and probably just going to add to it with his Agony's Embrace, but Opal actually might get caught out here.
Yeah, he might be in a little bit of trouble. He manages to get out with that little speed boost that Eve has in her kit. So, takes down the pink. I was just wondering, after he had been spotted by that pink earlier, why he didn't clean it out. I guess he was just playing it safe, heading down there while the lane was empty. So, lane swap is done because, of course, that top lane turret has been taken down. So, we'll have our duo laners down in the bottom lane now, which is where they're supposed to be. And you've got to say at this stage that the Tristana combining with the Alistar are firmly to have the advantage. That said, Opal comes down. He's looking for a gank. The Monsoon comes down. There's a flash from Sykes. Valen might be in trouble. Yeah, he might go down. In fact, he does. But in reply, they get the Tristana and the Alistar. Dream is there to try and, well, I guess it was there for a counter gank, but a little bit too late, Pooh.
Yeah, I was going to mention, I actually want to see Opal do more on this Evelyn, sorry. I mean, he did go for the early mobility boots, which is going to stop him from doing a lot of damage, but also add to his movement speed to get across the map. But, yeah, just as I was about to say it, he did in fact gank the bot side of the map, and although it was a 1-for-2 in the end, in the favor of FLACCID again, getting these slight leads and back in the gold lead, by 300 gold. So strong play by them, and obviously knowing what to do to try to get these slight advantages back to them. But the thing I'm worrying about, a little bit early to say this, but Saichi might actually have an issue trying to split push against the Shen once he does get those armor items. I mean, he does have the itemization going for that Black Cleaver, and also Apprehend does give armor penetration, but still, the Shen's going to turn to a really, really big split pushing force.
Well, Saichi's decided to go for a little bit of a jungle invade, but he'll have been spotted by a ward. Opal playing it very, very close here at this stage, hanging about in the jungle with very, very low HP. But he gets out okay, and now Saichi has transitioned to the mid lane. This might be a little bit of a signal, and as I say that, he decides to go for a wander out. He's pinged the red buff, so he's going to go for a steal and might get himself into trouble himself in turn because of that ward.
May definitely get himself into trouble. I mean, there is a ward there, and he actually opts against going for the red buff, so smart play there, intentional or unintentional, sorry. But the one thing I have to give HKAYCEE props for is getting these turrets down. They've got both the top and the bottom lane turret with no reply, so that in itself gives a lot of the gold advantage, and HKAYCEE Dream is going to match Opal here, and the red take and may just consume this wave and actually loses the consume battle, and Opal does in fact get the red buff.
Yeah, Opal trying to get away now from the perma-slow that Dream is putting down onto him. In comes the Shen, takes him out. He's just too late to save poor old Opal, but Opal getting the reply kill there, picking up a consolation there from Dream. So Limes unfortunately just took a little bit too long with his taunt, I think.
Yeah, Lime's quite late with that taunt and ended up being a 1-for-1, and Opal does get shut down in fact, so a very strong play there. And although Dream didn't get the consume smite combination properly, it did get this red secured by Opal, sorry. The dragon is live, so they may very well go for this. The blue buff is also up, but very, very smart pink wards by the side of FLACCID, and Saichi does have that teleport, but Stan United is also up, so we'll see what they can do with these team fight summoners and also pulling HKAYCEE across the map.
Well, the question is going to be who gets their TP in, so let's keep an eye on them. We'll get the Gamestah split cam going if I can figure out how to do that. Boom. There you go.
Okay, so the dragon is being started up here, so we'll see what the teams can do. I mean, Lazarus is going to have that very good zone control with his sand soldiers, but we do see Dream very close by, and his consume, it does give a lot of smite potential and steal.
Blue team picks it up there. Jonty Wanty, in comes the TPs. The Stand United used by Lions gets himself nicely in range, but it is too little too late. Already the dragon has been stolen. Sykes going to be the sacrificial cow, and he gets left behind. And a great little piece of play there from the boys from HKAYCEE.
Yeah, although that was a nice piece of play, the positioning by Spectre and Sykes was quite questionable. I mean, they tried to go for a pincer maneuver, but having the ADC and the support on one side and not having much damage threat just means that side of FLACCID can just walk towards their side and pretty much run through their team rampant. And actually,
Sykes is in trouble. He's gotten himself an arrow to the face. Dream comes through to try and defend his turret. Lions is tanking the turret for ages. He gets taken down though as Jonty Wanty arrives with the power burst. And he's flashing forward. He fancies himself a piece of Ash. But of course Ash gets himself away, using up all summoner spells in getting that escape. They didn't get the turret either, so that little focus on picking up that turret, or picking up that kill, is exactly the distraction that HKAYCEE wanted. And they are going to reply straight away with a turret of their own. That's 3 turrets to 1, Poon. And that one down in the bottom lane picked up by the Evelyn.
Yeah, 3 turrets to 1 as you mentioned, and they're doing a very good job here. Valen and his team actually going to try and fancy their fights, and very good gravity field going down there.
Jonty Wanty getting away, trying to escape. Lazarus gets a... Whoa! Jonty Wanty plays with death and gets too close, feeding the shutdown. Azir getting taken down by Jonty Wanty in reply, so it's a tit for tat really. Again, Saichi is there, he's the distraction that they want, but this time the turret goes down. Limes has caught him, and the rest of the team follow up with the damage, take him down. It is 12 kills to 8, and goodness me, it is fast-paced action in the mid-game here on the Rift, Poon.
Yeah, both teams actually trying to go to their limits, but quite a couple of times just staying too long. Like I said before, Saichi getting dove there, not quite the tanky Darius. I mean, he does have a giant belt under his belt, but not as tanky as he could be, and HKAYCEE Dream might actually get himself into a bad situation here, and Charles Aaron does go a bit wide.
To dodge the Scud missile, and in fact that is actually the problem with Scud missiles, is they're extremely inaccurate. So unfortunately he gets away with his life, if you're on Team FLACCID, but fortunately they get the consolation, pick up yet another turret, and just like that, just before the 20-minute mark, we've got 3 turrets apiece for each of these two teams, and the gold lead swung in favor of Team FLACCID. It's absolutely neck and neck here, Poon.
Yeah, both teams turning on this mid game, and Lazarus so big with his partner Opal in the jungle, and both 5 kills apart. And we see Opal actually going for quite an AP heavy build. It's going to do so much damage, but what they don't lack in damage, they lack in tankiness. So we'll see how these translate into these fights. And although Alistair not as behind as he could be, not as hit as he could be either, still quite tanky with that unbreakable will. So these fights are definitely going to be still close. And at Tristana, with the Blood Boil, is going to offer a lot of damage.
Well, we've got a fight over a mini objective here, which is control of this brush around the Baron pits, and a pink ward is the only casualty at this stage. That said, Opal is getting hunted now as the focus shifts around to the red buff area, and he's forced out of his jungle right now because there is a very... Oh, the call goes in, Stand United onto Opal, and in comes the Shen. We've got a knock-up from Sykes, and Dream uses his absolute zero to try and get some zoning going on. A call down from early Zhonya's, I guess, for Opal, but it's not enough to save him. Dream picks up the kill there, and that is a 1 for nothing, and a red buff steal, in fact, for Spectre. That's it. Saichi eats a Scud missile to the back of his head. He uses his flash to get away though, so they're not going to be able to turn things around for Team FLACCID. Flash through from Limes is at absolutely low health. Gets a smite to the face from Dream, and all of a sudden it becomes a 2 for nothing.
And as you saw there, that's the beauty of taking cleanse. John T instantly cleansed out of that taunt, and kind of baited Limes in, and that turned into a 2 for 0, as you mentioned, for HKAYCEE. So clawing back these little victories by playing on the outplays and also individual mechanical advantages in terms of playing the team fight properly. I mean, as you saw, the team fighting was really clean in that fight. We saw Spectre, very well positioned in the backside of around the red side, and also we saw Dream do a beautiful absolute zero, hitting so many people in such a long channel as well. So slight advantage going back into the favor of HKAYCEE and clawing back that gold lead, that gold deficit to, just under a K.
Yeah, not really sure what FLACCID were thinking there with that engage. They're running a pick comp, and there wasn't actually a pick available because all of HKAYCEE were camping in that jungle area, and really they have fantastic zoning tools, and that is exactly what we saw there. Dream zoning, of course Victor with his gravity well as well. So really fighting in the jungle like that, when it's a team fight, not such a good idea for Team FLACCID, but a great situation for the boys from HKAYCEE. Now we've got a dragon getting spawned, and the fight goes on around the dragon. Once again, the absolute zero marks where the battlefield is going to be happening. Ash is taken down very quick. That's a significant damage source taken down, but Lazarus comes back, picks up the tank. Saichi, a double kill though, in fact, for Lazarus, but Spectre is in the backline. He's flashed over the wall to try and pick up that double kill. In fact, he does. He's going to get a triple, and they will get the dragon as well.
And just a stand-up performance there by both Saichi and Spectre in that fight. I mean, he could not play that any better. He just flashed beautifully over the wall, picked up the 2 carries, got the resets on his jump, and then went crazy. But as an ADC player, that was just a pleasure to watch. I mean, we saw the apprehend come across. Pro-E, unfortunately, showing the flaws in that Ashe being a mobile ADC and just getting hooked away at the start of that fight into a massively just a massively damaged absolute zero by Dream there. They just play their team comp properly, and as you mentioned,
Opal has caught Jonty Wanty, and even though he gets stunned by a desperation gravity well, he picks up the kill on Jonty Wanty. So a little bit of overconfidence there, and nice game awareness from Opal, heading on past I was thinking, oh goodness me, that is a huge wave of minions that he's just ignoring. Where's he going? And he was going Jonty Wanty hunting.
Yeah, Jonty Wanty a bit cocky this, just backing in the lane opposed to the bush where he would have backed away safely, but paying with his life there. And in these high pressure situations, close games, taking those extra steps, saving your own life would be very worthwhile. I mean, Opal already so strong to Evelyn, although we haven't seen it in the fights thus far, he's getting blown up quite fast, but he will do a lot of damage given the chance, so very smart play by Opal, and yeah, very good game awareness as you mentioned.
So we're about at the 25-minute mark, and as through all of this game so far, ladies and gentlemen, things are neck and neck. Both teams have their advantages and disadvantages in terms of where the kills have gone and the stats that the teams have available to them. So really, Poon, it's up to these two teams to play their comp effectively. And as we say that, we've got ProEE putting an arrow onto Spectre. He managed to get his rocket jump down in time, so Sykes left behind, and well, he goes down. Just 1,000 gold lead in favor of Team FLACCID, and that's really the strength of a pick comp. You find a pick and you take him down, but what they've got to do, Poon, is transition, well, turn that into an objective advantage as well.
Yeah, Dream actually might get caught out here. Oh, flashed away beautifully.
So that's a flash in exchange for a stand united. Not sure if worth.
Yeah, not really quite as worthwhile as you could have, but that Zed damage coming through so big right now. Lazarus 7-2, picking up those two core items, gonna opt for maybe a Void Staff or that Rabadon's Death Cap. But a beautiful point you actually mentioned earlier is that both teams have to play the team comp properly. I mean, one team does have to pick comp on the side of FLACCID, gonna have to work off that Ash arrow, and also maybe the Opal, on that Evelyn trying to make a pick with his Agony's Embrace, but as you know, so far all the team fights have been going across slightly to the side of HKAYCEE, so we'll see what they can do to try to, what the side of FLACCID can do to try and make these picks, because if they get engaged on, it's not as advantageous as it could be.
Well, that's the key, I think, is that they don't really have the team fighting comp to take on HKAYCEE. So they kind of have to manipulate the game to create those pick situations, get Shen split pushing on in a meaningful way. And what does he have? I guess in terms of his split push, he's got his Sunfire Cape as well. That said, Opal has found somebody in the jungle as the Ash Arrow comes in to support him. Sykes uses his ulti to get out of danger, and Saichi looking for a flank, has TP'd through, but all he can do is wander away after taking a pounding, as the pick comp doesn't get a pick, but forces some blue pills. But again, Poon, they're not able to transfer that into any sort of objective advantage.
Yeah, I mean, that gives 5-minute window for FLACCID, to do whatever they want, because the teleport is in fact down, and Shen has two means of teleportation, which is going to be really advantageous in terms of a pick comp, because if they can force more than one person to come bot lane to deal with this Shen, which Lance has done a very good job on so far, then it's going to be really hard for the side of HKAYCEE to kind of avoid these picks. But quick look over to the itemization of HKAYCEE. You see Sykes picking up that Zeke's Harbinger, a very, very popular item for supports to pick up that kind of make your ADC strong in terms of gives a 50% crit chance increase for 8 seconds time when it does in fact pop. So
hey, down at the bottom lane, sorry to interrupt you there. We've got exactly the situation you predicted needed to happen. We've got two champions going up after Limes. He has to flash away because he didn't want to get apprehended and taken down. But the rest of his team, Poon, not really doing much to take advantage.
Yeah, I mean, what I'd like to see the side of FLACCID do in those situations is either force a Baron or try and make a pick with that Scud arrow, as you mentioned. But it gets happen. Actually, as I mentioned, that Sykes might go down here.
Yeah, he gets taken down. Death Brush situation. He was trying to get some vision around that Baron Pit area. So we got one down. We've got the Darius down in the bottom lane dealing with the Shen. And a Scud missile comes through. Arrow to the face. Jonty Wanty stunned forever. And he gets taken down by Lazarus. Lazarus now on 9-2-2, almost double figures in terms of kills. And Dream now just trying to waste time, buy time for his team, but he's not going to get away from the perma-slow that ProEE has in his kit. There it goes. There's the final kill. Now the question is going to be, are they going to be able to turn this into a Baron? They are making for it. Stand United from Lions just to get himself up to the Baron pit, and they start working on it.
Just a beautiful rotational play there by FLACCID. I mean, I was saying to myself, this is what they need to do, and you know, 30 seconds later they actually make it happen. So very beautiful enchanted crystal arrow by ProEE to catch out John 20 on that Vector. although he did cleanse it away eventually, there was too much CC follow-up, so very smart play there, and as I mentioned, they had 5 minutes to make something happen, and Saichi not having that teleport available just meant that Limes could teleport and help them with the Baron buff, so Baron buff being picked up, and they may trade this for Dragon, but this will be Dragon number 3 if they can pick it up.
And I think they will. Opal was rushing down to try and get in range, and unfortunately just too slow. But they're going to try and get another pick. Sykes very, very low. He uses his ulti and the pulverize, but it's not enough to get away. Massive damage from Jonty though. He's absolutely turned it around. Opal has been isolated. The double kill going down onto Jonty. In fact, a triple. And just like that, an incredible Baroned up advantage team gets things turned around on them. Their faces melt in the face of the death laser from Jonty's Victor. And what is this? A siege against a Baron buff team as opposed to a siege by a Baron buff team.
Yeah, we'll see what they can do though, because Lazarus does have that Baron buff, but actually going to be forced away by the Dream. Very smart play there. And they're actually going to pick up the turret against, as you mentioned, a Baron up team. And that's the danger of those choke points against a Victor. I mean, he hit multiple people with that death laser and multiple people with that death ray, with his ult and his E. So strong play by Jonty, utilizing a vision advantage, and yeah, picking up multiple kills in that fight. And one thing I have to mention in the itemization is Jonty's going for that Lich Bane, which is something you'd build against a short range team. Actually, had Eric
oh, long range, and Sykes just gets out of the way. My goodness me, that would have been a fantastic pick to pick up. We've got a siege now where this is the way the world should be. You've got a Baron buff and now you're putting on a siege. Opal has picked up Jonty, forces him away, and that secures them. The turret, Limes getting out of dodge at that stage with his taunt. Getting himself out of danger. Going to head down to the bottom lane surely and get the split push going on because he's got Baron on him. As the siege gets put down, Saichi taking damage from the long range soldiers of Lazarus. But that seems to be it for the siege. They might set themselves up for a Death Rush kill.
Yeah, only a quarter of the length left on that Baron buff, but they may try to pick something up on the rest of this, and so far all they've picked up off this Baron buff is a turret and some kills, which is almost a breath of fresh air for the side of HKC, not being pressured as much as they could have been pressured.
How did that happen? Why did the turret self-destruct?
Because it times out after a certain amount of time. So.
Oh, well, it's been up for a while. I thought it had just spawned and self-destructed.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it had been up since they sieged that mid lane turret, so.
Oh, so much
had it time in the sun and then it's out, yeah.
Well, Lion's got his lane pushing a little bit, but he's not pushing it all the way. The rest of his team blue pilling and collecting red buffs in the jungle, that sort of thing. So no real advantage gained from that Baron buff other than picking up the Baron buff itself. So one turret in exchange for another in that mid lane. But well, it's very difficult to pick who has the advantage here. Just 2,000 gold in it at the 32-minute mark, and that is really not a huge advantage at this stage. Poon?
Yeah, well, as this game scales later and later on, it's going to be interesting to see which team can actually play their comps better, because both teams have extremely advantageous factors. I mean, this is Tristana, a very, very hyper late game carry, especially with this Harbinger that Sykes is bringing along, but the thing is, can Saichi counter push Limes on the Shen? Shen, one of those late game champions that can just push and push and push and apply global pressure, but actually AC is going to be in the top lane and having no reply there, it's going to pick up the turret for free.
Yeah, easy as you can. The team fighting team gets a split push on and picks up a turret. So the turret's now 5-4 in favor of HKC, and that's brought them within 1,000 gold difference. So really, there no real advantages at this stage. We're going to see an attempt at a pick from Opal onto Jonty in the mid lane. He's been caught. He tries to get the shutdown, the reply kill onto Lazarus. He goes really low, but unfortunately it's not to be. Valen, the support, will be swimming in gold as far as supports are concerned, because he picks up the kill there, secures it for his team. And with the numbers advantage now, I guess the pick-up might look for that team fight.
Yeah, pick-up may, actually, Valen actually gets poked away here and actually might be taken down here, but no, Opal and his team do in fact go in.
Yeah, there's no damage to be dealt though. Ash was kind of out of range At that stage, Opal decides he might have something to go on. In fact, he gets himself in range, gets himself apprehended over the wall, picks up his Zhonya, and manages to avoid the damage from the explosive cast, but not enough to escape from the auto attacks. So Tristana picking up a nice little kill there. Beautiful little apprehend over the wall, though.
Yeah, apprehend actually doing so much work. I mean, we've seen especially Saichi using his apprehend effectively in the past couple of fights. I mean, a couple of fights ago, hooking Pro into the middle of the team and just then apprehending Opal onto the over the other side and having no flash in his disposal, picking up that kill onto Spectre. So more gold for Spectre can never hurt. Being the AD carry, carry on that Tristana, traditional late game carry, and does have that last whip under his belt. May go for the Bloodthirster now, but he actually may also go for that Blade of the Ruined King. So I'm going to see what he goes for right now, because the side of FLACCID don't have that many strong tanks and more damage dealers, so Bloodthirster would be the stronger choice in this scenario.
So a little request for help, Deathbrush situation getting set up, or attempted to be set up by HKAYCEE, but FLACCID having none of it. They've got everybody around but for their split pusher. So right now, Limes and Saichi having a little bit of duke out in the top lane. The Dragon has spawned down there in the bottom lane. Limes in a huge amount of trouble, using his TP to get out, but gets dunked on by the Darius. In the meantime, the red team picks up their second Dragon. Very, very important that they did it, because it was fourth Dragon on the cards for HKAYCEE. So beautiful little 1 versus 1 mano in the top lane there, and the Darius comes out on top. Saichi now pushing his lane all the way up to this inhibitor turret, and clears things up. The Baron has spawned. Great timing from HKAYCEE, and Poon, they're going to go for it.
Yeah, Saichi's going to run interference while they do brush down this Dragon, and they have the 100% crit chance to Tristana here, so they're doing so much damage, and Saichi actually might find Opal here, and Opal may go for the steal. Very good gravity field there, and the arrow comes through.
Yeah, it's a little bit too late though. Sykes once again going to be the sacrificial lamb. Gets, well, it takes ages for them to take him down, and really he does his job, because all that happened was he died. Of course, Saichi in the meantime taken down as well, but the rest of the team looks to be able to get away. A little bit of a chase on John Wanty. Actually, he might be caught. He turns around, makes sure he gets a kill in consolation. He's going to get chased. The double kill onto Lazarus. Well, in fact, he manages to get a double kill himself. Limes gets taken down. It's very, very messy at this stage. Poon, as that Baron goes on to HKAYCEE, and I can't say that much of an advantage getting 3 versus 2 for Team FLACCID there.
Yeah, I mean, 3 members of FLACCID going down, and John Wanty multiple times in that fight I thought it was going to go down, but beautiful cleanse timing and positioning, and that gravity well fully upgraded passive there on the mark, on the perfect hex core, and just picking up a double kill, helping his team get that 3 kills, and that Baron definitely worthwhile for the side of HKAYCEE, getting their slight lead back, and having the gold onto both John Wanty and Spectre on the Tristana and the Victor is going to be very advantageous. I mean, both the carries fed.
And what a gold advantage the Tristana has, a full almost 50 CS ahead of his opponent, and of course 2 kills in the lead as well. Ash doing a great job picking up assists, but really as the ADC you kind of want those kills to be going onto him. And long range Scud, who's going to pick up? Nobody. In fact, it picks up John Wanty, but he's so far in the back line, it doesn't matter how long he's going to get stunned for. In the meantime, in the jungle, Dream getting himself caught out, but Sykes is there to the rescue, gets the pulverized down, gets taken down for his trouble. Spectre using the rocket jump to get out of the way and get his positioning up. Saichi in the mid lane somehow manages to stay alive, but Ash finally starts picking up kills, gets the double kill. Spectre's still alive, trying desperately to get away from Opal. In fact, does a beautiful job there while John Wanty picks up the triple kill. Spectre gets the domination from the kite and the kills down onto whoever chased him. And just like that, another team fight gets won by HKAYCEE, and now they're going to take down an inhibitor turret and surely Poon an inhibitor too.
Yeah, I mean, Spectre and John Wanty, this game is a 2-man show. I mean, we see the team of HKC just pretty much a tank line and then 2 carries that have Beasley positioning so far. I mean, I thought Spectre was going to go down at the end of that fight, but beautiful explosive charge into into the buster shot there by Tristana and killing Opal on the backline. So strong play there by the backline of HKC, as I mentioned prior. And yeah, Inhibitor does go down, and I think Baron will be the next thing to look forward to. But there's almost a 3 to 4 minute timer on that. So what's the next play on the map is a real big question.
Well, we've got side lanes pushing. We had a slow push in the top lane for FLACCID, but nobody really there to take advantage. Their champions are just spawning now. It's the 40-minute mark. Everybody's at quite high level. In fact, you can just see the advantage in terms of levels for HKC. They have the number on their opponent's team, FLACCID, here in game number 1. But the spawn time is really getting quite long at this stage, Poon.
Yeah, an interesting thing to mention actually is that on the side of FLACCID, they have 4 sweepers and 1 scrying orb, but the top laner on Saichi actually opted for that warding upgrade trinket, which means that he can split push safely and get those wards and help out HKC Dream on that Nunu. But he does have that they do have a double sightstone, sorry. So they do have a lot of vision, and actually we see FLACCID setting up a bush bait, but they actually might just get out pushed here, and the effort's being worth nothing because they're just going to run through this bot lane here.
Yeah, Pro Double E walks over a ward and is going to stick around looking for the rest of his team to arrive, but that vision advantage is in favor of HKC, and they are looking for a fight as a pause goes down. So very, very interesting. They had visions of what happened earlier on in the game, round about the 15-minute mark, where they had that beautiful team fight around the Dragon objective, where they had Jonty Wanty picking up his triple kill. But the pause goes in and Shen reconnects. So we'll see if they're going to be able to put together that team fight, Poon.
Yeah, just a really interesting thing I have to mention is that if they push down this bot lane, the Dragon is up in 40 seconds, so even if they don't get the turret, they can peel back and quickly take this Dragon without much contention, I believe. So very smart play here, very good rotational play, and pushing the side of the map that does have the objective on it. So a very smart rotational play, and very good strategy that if in fact they can't get this turret, they can just peel back, get Dragon number 4, and put a timer on this game, because Dragon number 5 is a huge objective to take. Huge objective, I have to articulate it properly. And as the ready does come through, the game should be unpaused quite soon, and as it does come through, probably just going to resume pushing this bot lane.
Yeah, they unfortunately not able to pick up a kill in that little jungle rush that they were doing. So focusing on the bottom lane, and this is what they should do. They've got the better team fighting comp and arguably the better sieging comp. That said, FLACCID have plenty of wave clearing tools in their kit box.
Yeah, the way Opal's actually positioning, he's looking for a flank, trying to get a 5-man Agony's Embrace and force a really good fight. I mean, he is quite a lot tankier since Limes does have that Stand United, and as I mentioned, they are going to set up for this Dragon.
Yeah, we're going to have a fight though. So HKC not ready just yet to start the fight, start the Dragon, as the FLACCID boys do the right thing and clear out the vision. Have they cleared out all the wards? There is... Oh, in comes the engage. Opal gets himself caught. Limes in the background. Everybody getting zoned out by Dreams. Absolute zero, but it doesn't get any damage down onto anybody at this stage. Sideshare running interference, just doing the zoning. Jonty Wanty looking for a kill. Blue team picks up the Dragon. Easy as you please. So easy at this stage with the Consume and Smite in the hands of the Nunu. And as we get a push going down on the bottom lane, we have a little bit of a chase going on in the jungle as Dream looks to pick up Limes. Limes is going to use his Stand United to get himself out of dodge as quickly as he possibly can. And now the siege, once again, look at that, 1,050 crits going down from Tristana, and pretty consistently as well, Poon.
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, if that Zeke's Harbinger does in fact pop at the right time, that's crits every auto attack, 100% crit chance on that Tristana, and Spectre being that fed at this point in the game is going to be dealing a lot of damage. But very good play there by the team of HKC, and almost a lack of respect coming through from Opal there. Ran across the front of the team of HKC at the start of that fight and getting apprehended with also the snowball and getting CC'd up before he could really do any damage. So interesting to see how he positions in that fight, and if in future, you know, he decides to opt against it. But the next objective, will be this Baron that is spawning in 5 seconds.
Yeah, so Baron spawns, and you can see that the teams are aware of it. Both teams making their way towards the Baron pit. A slight little positional advantage at this stage for FLACCID as they try and establish a vision advantage in this area. Looking for a pick now as HKC wanders over to try and reply with some vision of themselves, but they're not going to get the pick. And in fact, they no longer have positional advantage, so they've moved away from the Baron pit into the mid lane, and that's going to give the opportunity for HKC to clear out the vision that was just established. Interesting move over here. They've decided, Poon, to go for the mid lane inhibitor turret and the inhibitor instead of challenging for the Baron.
Yeah, Opal and team actually walking towards the mid lane, and actually the arrow going across, very good cleanse there, going to cleanse it away, but walking towards the mid lane, and we actually have HKAYCEE in the bottom lane trying to push and get this inhibitor turret. Lions maybe forced to teleport here, but the Stand United is in fact available, so if needed he will Stand United into these team fights, but the Sun Disc is going to go down, and the attempt at pushing the mid lane, you know, had to no avail, and they may very well pick up this top lane turret in return. A bot lane turret, sorry.
Well, Limes just manages to arrive in time. Smidgen of health on that turret and pushes HKAYCEE out of the way. How the tables have turned, you're supposed to be seeing the Shen split pushing, but instead Shen's having to go back and defend against HKAYCEE. Great piece of tactical play from HKAYCEE, and maintaining control, not giving an inch at the stage to FLACCID in game number 1. This is just game number 1, 45 minutes in, 27 apiece the kills for these two teams, and the gold, well, as time has ticked on, Poon, the gold advantage has swung quite firmly in the favor of FLACCID.
Yeah,
HKAYCEE.
HKAYCEE going to take this turret down, and maybe everyone 1v1 Limes at this point. I mean, he is so strong right now and does get those bleed stacks doing magic damage, and HKAYCEE not in a rush to pull the trigger because they can get this turret for free, use it to apprehend. Limes is maybe forced back, and he is going to pick up this inhibitor turret without any return. They may stop the backs here and pick up Opal here for a kill.
Well, we've got an inhibitor going down. In the meantime, the Enchanted Arrow stunning down 2 champions. Opal in the mid lane there uses his Zonya to get out of the way. Limes is back in the fight, and he is zoning Spectre at the moment, but things have turned around a little bit. Lots of low HP bars on the piece of HKAYCEE. The Shurima shuffle comes through from Lazarus. He just wants to keep the team fight away, but look at the low HP. Dream might actually go down as a red turret gets destroyed. A massive wave up there, but the Baron has been stopped, at least for now, by FLACCID. That said, Dream sticks around. He's decided he wants to stick around.
And he stands up to might kill him. Yeah,
in fact, he goes down. Lazarus picks up the kill. Beautifully done there. Just too greedy, but Spectre with a beautiful crit down. In fact, he might get 2 crits down, gets the double kill. In fact, and just like that, you think things are turning around, but a double kill from Ash in reply. Spectre's still alive though, so plenty of opportunity to make sure that this Baron doesn't go the way of Team FLACCID.
Yeah,
they're going to try for it though.
I don't know what that was by Dream. I mean, he sat by the Baron pit where the soldiers could in fact hit him, but yeah, they actually are going to do this dragon, but Jonty is on the way, and he does do a lot of damage, so probably he might get taken down here.
Huge! It's going to be massive. He's got Spectre there, the 2 damage dealers. Limes comes through as the damage from the Baron is just too much, and Ash dies. Then the double kill goes over onto Jonty as he picks up the Shen as well. Opal looking to take things down, get a reply kill. Spectre very, very low, but never really in much damage, much danger. And, well, that Baron absolutely serving up dinner tonight, Poon.
Yeah, Baron baiting both teams, and actually one thing we didn't see whilst that was all happening is that, well, actually Dragon actually up in 25 seconds, so it's going to be a point of contention, but yeah, as that was all happening, there was actually a monster wave in the top lane that pushed down the turret, so very strong play there, and Opal is going to show slightly, and if he doesn't back for this Dragon spawns, then actually HKAYCEE is going to trade Dragon for Baron, which is quite interesting because a Dragon number 5 compared to Baron buff, although Baron can help Siege, all the inhibitor turrets are gone, so Dragon would be more advantageous than getting this Baron up, but obviously opting for the Baron and trying to make it to Dragon in time, but Opal probably going to be able to take it away.
Well, he's going to try, but he doesn't actually seem to be doing that much damage, and in fact, he's had to pull himself out of there. He keeps the Dragon alive, though, doesn't let it reset, so that's really just setting things up for HKAYCEE to pick it up. So now they've got the Baron and 5 Dragon buff, and they're just going to transition over and start clearing out exposed inhibitors, I guess.
Yeah, if you thought John T and Spectre did a lot of damage before, try adding a Dragon number 5, because right now they're going to be doing so much damage, and it's going to be true damage as well. So Shen is going to be like, you know, a knife through hot butter, and Sykes and team's going to walk over where they want, get these 3 inhibitors, and triple inhibitor with Baron buff. I mean, it's going to be a really hard time for the side of FLACCID to come back now.
Yeah, I kind of feel as though game 1 has gone the way of HKAYCEE. It's just really a matter of time at this stage. They don't have a team fight that's going to be able to deal with. Oh, they decide to go in anyway. Lazarus trying to pick up kills, but gets taken down himself. Beautiful front lining there from the side chair. Finally, Tristana dies. The shutdown going on to Shen. They might not, though, have done enough damage to save themselves as the kill. In fact, they have done enough damage to kill, save themselves. Sykes hanging on by the skin of his teeth, and they have been driven off. That is incredible. You can't have a much more advantage than a Baron buff and a 5th Dragon, and still unable to take down the Nexus.
I mean, although they did end up getting that team fight win on the side of FLACCID, the damage is already done. Triple inhib. It's like it's two super minions in every wave, and that pretty much gives HKAYCEE free reign through as they please. I mean, even if they don't want to rush it, the Baron and Dragon will be coming up in due time, and the damage is done as I mentioned. And although they did turn the trigger on the late game and did win the fight with against the Baron up and Dragon 5 team, they got the objectives they came in for, and it's really going to help out HKAYCEE in kind of closing out this game.
Yeah, it's going to be death by 1,000 cuts as the super minions from 3 lanes arrive. So there's 4 coming through from the top lane. We've got another 2 heading on their way up through the bottom lane. Through the mid lane. And, well, just small favors as the bottom lane inhibitor gets itself respawned.
Yeah, the only thing, you know, stopping stopping Spectre from carrying is harder is that he doesn't have enough item slots, and as I mentioned, that Dream actually might get caught out here.
Yeah, Sykes, unfortunately, for Team FLACCID is the one that eats the arrow, and he just ulties out of it. So it's an ult for an ult, and they walk away, no problem. As the super minions start to arrive in base, massive wave in the top lane. So this is going to be really, really tough. Lazarus taken down to half HP, in fact, almost a 3rd HP, as he tries to get the clear going on here. So very, very hard to maintain the integrity of their base. Just the one Nexus turret still standing though, as well as the bottom lane inhibitor. So it's not quite everything going wrong for them.
Yeah, well, the thing I was going to mention is if they had the Baron buff would do the work for them. You stand in the middle of the enemy base and let the Baron up super minions walk in, then there's no way of, you know, killing them all at once. They'll just push down the turrets for you. But as I mentioned, that John T wants, he's going to try find his pack in the bot lane and try push onto this inhibitor turret that has in fact respawned.
Well, just one tap down onto it now as the defense comes in. We've got Opal hanging around on the side looking for the flank. There's no pink ward there to spot him coming, so he's kind of got the advantage there. But Sidechip picking that's where he's going to be coming from as he holds the flank himself. And he's just so big at the moment that there's no chance of going through. Sykes with the flash pulverized comes through and starts off the engage. Dream gets his zone down though. Who's going to be the first to die? It's going to be the Shen. He's taken down. Saichi gets pushed away, but that's okay. Dream taking over the frontline job as the inhibitor gets taken down. Spectre now going for broke. Gets his rocket launch uses his rocket launcher to get into the team. But, he doesn't pick up the kill. But it doesn't matter because Janna goes down in the background there. Lazarus
doing work to try and get the defense on though, but the Nexus turret has been taken down. He's got his own turret up, but the double kill going on to Spectre, and in fact it's going to be all over now, Poon, as the Nexus goes down.
That game was with the Spectre and John T. Wanty, you know, montage reel right there. I mean, that was beautiful play across the board, and just beautiful positioning by Spectre on that Tristan. I mean, knowing his limits, walking in and out between those fights, and at the end, although he was on a slither of health, he did realize he had the crit chance from that Zeke's Harbinger, walked in, and ended up killing out Pro E on that Ashe, and using those resets to kind of jump out in position. So very well played there by the side of HKAYCEE. I mean, an early deficit, but we'll see how they can translate this early advantage and momentum, after being 1-0 down into the game 2, and hopefully a 5-game series. But yeah, beautifully played there.
Well, that was just the first game, ladies and gentlemen, so it is going 1-0 to HKAYCEE. They'll swap sides in just a moment, and we'll be back for game number 2, so stick around. This is Crisis and Poon, signing out just for now.